What's going on, guys? I'm Maze, here with my review on the latest Pokemon Sun and Moon anime episode 78, Ultra Beast Clash, the Great Rumble Crash Operation. With that title now said though, let's not jump into this review at the moment and quickly go back to episode 77. So, once I uploaded my review on that episode, I received multiple constructive feedback. Basically, I was a bit unfair on the episode, despite trying to be fair. And I admit, after reading your comments, that I made a mistake. Once rewatching the episode, I remembered all the comments and actually found enjoyment from the episode. The episode was mostly focused on Nano trying to push Ash down so he can lose, which the entire writing was just brilliant. Nano's like pulling away actually, the best rival. However, I just let my expectations take over me that I really didn't pay too much attention to that writing. AKA, I wanted to see fast paced and epic action because it was announced that it's a grand trial episode, which you would assume would include non-stop action. Plus, you know, when thinking about it more, Lycanroc did actually train making him more powerful, so I guess that makes sense why it took out the Pokemon so easily in the battle. So overall, now that I've cleared my mind and gained new thoughts, I'm going to give episode 77 a new rating of 9 out of 10. I still prefer episode 76 though, and that's because it did have that lovely action I love to see within battles. Everybody has different aspects in battles though. Either way though, despite episode 77 not having that much on Lycanroc's side of the field, it makes sense due to what I explained, and I now found enjoyment from the episode. And hey, at least I'm being a Poketuber who's admitting they made a mistake. I'm sorry, I'll try not to let expectations take over me before watching the episodes. I want to be as fair as possible, as I've stated multiple times on this channel when it comes to reviews. In fact, multiple viewers have commented before that they love my reviews because I'm fairer unlike other Poketubers and overall a positive guy, which means a lot to me, and hopefully I can bring that back today with episode 78. So, if you haven't already guys, get relaxed as I will now jump right into this episode review. It's another good one. So, the episode begins off with Ash and his friends watching a beautiful fireworks show. However, an Ultra Beast known as Blacephalon nearby notices these fireworks and decides to do its own performance by using its signature move, Mind Blown, which also lets out fireworks. This Pokemon also did some pretty sick dance moves. In fact, it did the Michael Jackson moonwalk, which is a clever Easter egg. That's added onto the list. Just need 10 more Easter eggs before I can make a new Easter egg video. Anyway, once Blacephalon finished performing, it then disappeared and a new Ultra Wormhole appeared out of the sight from the gang, which comes out Xurkitree. The next day though, the gang questioned if Blacephalon was an Ultra Beast, and what do you know, they then get a call to the Ultra Guardian base, where Lucimin reveals that Blacephalon was indeed an Ultra Beast, and they found its location near a power line so they can catch it and send it home. However, the power then briefly goes out in the base, which is clever foreshadowing that it's actually Xurkitree over there. And once they arrive, they find out that it's a different Pokemon, which Lucimin confirms that it's an Ultra Beast too, which they only discovered its wormhole recently. So before the gang focus on finding Blacephalon, they have to catch Xurkitree so it can stop eating electric so we can upload our YouTube videos. However, the gang couldn't get in close, so they then come up with the idea to distract Xurkitree with Pikachu's, Togedemaru's and Charjabug's electricity so the gang then can catch it. The team's splitting in two. And I gotta say, that's a nice plan. However, Blacephalon appears and gets in the way of their plan. It's looking angry at Xurkitree. And here we go, the battle of the century number 3, Blacephalon vs Xurkitree. Except it's a performance battle, which I actually don't mind. More on that later. Seeming as Blacephalon was distracting Xurkitree though, the gang tried to catch both of them, but the wind from the beautiful moves they were performing just hit the beast balls back to the gang, with Ash and Kiori then giving such a great reference to Pop Team Epic in the form of a shocked reaction. Man, the Easter eggs are amazing in this episode. But anyway, Ash thinking quickly on his feet, almost looking like XY Ash, which was brilliant, comes up with the plan to make his own performance combo move to outdo the moves Blacephalon and Xurkitree were doing, so he can distract them and catch them, which successfully works, and that entire scene was spectacular to witness. I really love this group shot too. The episode then ends off with the gang sending the Ultra Beast back home with Tapu Koko lurking by once again. It will for sure have a role in this Ultra Necrozma arc, which will be brilliant and gets me even more hyped for it. With that story now said though, let's now move on to my overall thoughts of this episode. Once again, I was expecting a full-fledged action episode, aka Blacephalon and Xurkitree having a real Pokemon battle. And although there were some small action scenes, which were pretty sweet, the episode focused more on the performance factor between these two Pokemon. And I actually don't mind that whatsoever, as it gave a unique spin to these Pokemon. I would have never saw Xurkitree as a performer, but it surprisingly fit well due to its electric type attacks letting off some pretty sights. Blacephalon on the other hand though, was obvious that it would be fabulous, but to see it have this rivalry against Xurkitree added a nice factor for that Pokemon too. Of course, the way Ash and the Ultra Guardians came up with the idea of doing their own combo move too was great and gave a unique spin to this episode. In fact, I imagine every Ultra Guardian episode would be actual Pokemon battles against Ultra Beasts, but that's proven to be wrong at the moment. And I'm somewhat glad it is, as it will keep surprises coming our way. Not making this formulaic design, aka the Ultra Guardians going off to capture an Ultra Beast, not so 100% formulaic, as there's a new twist to it every episode. Really nicely done, writers. Anyway, going back to that combo move, I would probably say that was my favourite part of this episode, as the move overall did actually look kinda pretty, and was very clever to distract the Ultra Beasts. In fact, this combo move really reminded me of Pokemon contests, which were always such a joy to watch for me, due to seeing amazing combos with Pokemon moves. So, that might explain even more of why I like this section a lot. Who knows too, continuity is strong within this series, so maybe Ash came up with the idea because he remembered Dawn and May's contests. Who knows? Finally, for that combo move scene too, I really like how each Ultra Guardian had a role, aka nobody was left out when making the move, and even beforehand with some scenes, such as Ash and Sophocles distracting Xurkitree while the others charged on the Pokemon to throw Beast Balls. Which this was quite satisfying, as sometimes the other Ultra Guardian members didn't show to do much. In fact, just by thinking about it more, I really like how Ash wasn't the one to catch the Ultra Beast too, but rather Lily and Lana, with Mallow helping Lily out as she sucks at throwing. I can relate there. And it was cute to see that feature be added on too. Overall, as you can hopefully see though, this section of the entire episode was fantastic. I just had one nitpick, but that will come later into this video. To wrap up this story section though, let's focus more on Blacephalon's and Xurkitree's character. Firstly for Blacephalon, man, it was entertaining, mostly in the first part of the episode where it was showcasing its moves to the crowd of people. Although some may have found it boring, it just showcased its personality perfectly for the episode, which is a very lovable one to me, and even gave the animators an excuse to show their beautiful animation. You can tell the animators definitely had so much fun animating this episode too, which just makes me smile, as putting passion into work is always such a great feeling. Hello YouTube. Anyway, more on that animation later. But yeah, Blacephalon turned out to be more delightful than I expected, and I'm glad. As for Xurkitree though, although it was obvious that it would drain electric from places, it fit its Pokemon perfectly, which I can't help but admire, and its scenes against other Pokemon were pretty enjoyable. And that's pretty much all I can say for the story. As always though, what I said in the storytelling section also counts towards this review. But right now, let's finally move on to the animation and music aspects of this episode. Firstly for the animation, and I've been dying to say about all this review, as the animation in this episode was the most impressive factor. The thing I enjoyed overall when playing this episode as a whole. So firstly for my highlights, the way the animated Blacephalon and Xurkitree move in were incredible, especially Xurkitree. It looks creepy because of CGI, but it fits its character so well, which is why I fell in love with its movements. It's like a cable Pokemon too, which cables are pretty wonky, so it feels lifelike too, which is great. As for Blacephalon, its dance moves were just amusing, but also a great way to showcase its character and animation like I stated earlier. Another highlight of this animation has to be the CGI moves from both Blacephalon and Xurkitree. I see some people saying that the CGI looked off-putting, but to me it wasn't really off-putting and made for beautiful moves. Just look at those crackles and fireworks, it's so charming. Talking about fireworks too, of course the fireworks at the start of this episode were astounding to witness too. I cannot express how breathtaking I found them to be. The lighting on the characters' faces from the fireworks too was such a great addition. And that's all the highlights. I bet I've missed other great animation moments, but the point is, the animation was so stunning within this episode, which is actually why I love this episode quite a bit, meaning the animation was engaging too, which is pleasant. If there's one thing I didn't like regarding the animation though, I guess that would be Lycanroc C-move. I was expecting it to be a bit more, I don't know, it just didn't look as great as I thought it would be. But hey, that won't affect the rating, as like I've said multiple times now, the animation apart from that was great. Moving on to the music aspects now though, this section was also very well done in my opinion. But I'm gonna pick two highlights for this section. The first tune I liked the most was the tune that played when the gang arrived in the Ultra Guardian base. It sounded so ominous, but it felt satisfying at the same time. And finally, the tune that played when Ash and Sophocles were distracting Xurkitree was very remarkable too. I believe it was the Totem Pokemon music or Wild Battle music, but still, it fit perfectly. With everything I've said in this video though, I've decided to give this episode a rating of 7 out of 10. Sure, everything I said in this video were pretty much positive, but when comparing it to other Sun and Moon episodes story-wise, I prefer others. But I will admit, this episode does stand out from every other episode when it comes to animation though. Very impressive job, Pokemon creators. And guys, let me know in the comments down below what you actually thought of this episode. I'd love to hear. As that wraps up for this review now. Quick update though, I am planning to make a website or Facebook page for taking down videos now, as it's happening quite often. Fingers crossed this video is safe though, I don't want my efforts to be taken away. Anyway, that's all I had to say. So if you enjoyed this overall video, then be sure to leave a like and a subscribe for future Pokemon content. It helps out a ton. You'll also become a member of the Entity Squad. For now, this is Entity Maze, signing out. Thank you for watching.